Here's a religious person in the comments of one of my videos who opposes abortion because apparently only Yahweh should get to kill people. First off, no one is innocent. An embryo isn't innocent? What sins do embryos commit? I'm sure this guy believes that an embryo is a person, so if it's the case that no one is innocent, he must include embryos. Is he one of the Christians who thinks that guilt is inherited? They try to explain why their God gets to kill anybody he wants, but nobody else does, but they don't really make any sense. Of course, this is all Chinese to you, but just because something doesn't make sense to you, it doesn't mean it's not a fact. No, but it does mean that I'm incapable of believing it, regardless of whether it is or is not a fact. How can you expect me to believe something if I don't understand what it is I'm believing in? You need to understand that even though no one is innocent before God, it doesn't mean we have a right to kill. There is only one righteous judge, and that is God. Does this person therefore oppose the death penalty? If their God is the only righteous judge, then the death penalty, actually any penalty, cannot be justly administered. Do you think people who sacrificed their babies to Moloch were innocent folk, for example? I doubt they really existed, but if they did, I strongly suspect the babies being sacrificed were innocent. It's weird that this God essentially said, hey, I don't like that they're killing those babies, so I'm going to kill those babies, and everyone else too. I don't really see how that puts things right. How would you feel if your kids acted like you didn't exist and went and called their neighbor's dad? I'm pretty sure I wouldn't feel like drowning them all in a flood. This commenter thinks that because Yahweh made us, he therefore should get to do whatever he wants with us. But if a human makes a child, does that human therefore get to do whatever they want to that child? People don't make people, you idiot. Do you see anyone making people? Yes. I tried to explain that I make a distinction between embryos and persons, and that there's no point in treating embryos as though they are persons. I don't think I effectively made myself clear about what the distinction is. So a person is someone in society and you only care about persons? No, a person is anyone with self-awareness, regardless of whether or not they are in society. Most chimpanzees are not in society, but they seem to demonstrate self-awareness, so I think they ought to be treated as persons. I even think killing one arbitrarily should be prosecuted as a murder. So you care about Ted Bundy? Would you take him home if he were alive today? No, but I wouldn't murder him either. Just because I care about a person enough not to want to murder them doesn't mean I'm going to be their friend. So you care only about persons who are human? No, I care about humans who are persons. As I said, I strongly suspect that chimpanzees are non-human persons. If a pregnant woman doesn't want to have a child, then she could give him away at birth. What if a pregnant woman doesn't want to give birth? You're old enough to know that everything you do has consequences, don't you? Yes, I'm also old enough to understand that abstinence is not the only way to avoid the consequence of childbirth. If a woman is careless enough to get pregnant against her will, then the stupid slut should pay the consequences and not her unborn child. If my mother had conceived me carelessly and did not want to give birth to me, I'd rather be aborted than think of my mother as a stupid slut who should be forced to give birth to me against her will. Yes, you are fucking useless and should have been aborted. I guess consistency is not a Judeo-Christian virtue.